All right. Now we are doing the next review, which is Total Recall. Again, I'm kind of starting off these movie reviews with movies that I've seen hundreds of times and movies that I definitely want to cover right off the bat. And this is one of them. This I remember this was one of this. My dad always had this big ass uh, DVD collection. Um, I was born in the year 2000, so I grew up on a lot of the stuff that my parents grew up with because they raised me right and they raised me like a little fucking snowflake. So I grew up watching. I remember Conan. That was a big part of my childhood, even though I probably shouldn't have been watching those movies. Lamentations of the Women. But one of the ones that I grew up watching was fucking Total Recall. Now, of course, Dad wouldn't let me watch the three-breasted chick, but he would still let me watch this movie, and I had a lot of fun with it. Again, probably one of Arnold Schwarzenegger's most iconic movies. I mean, this is a sci-fi classic in every sense of the word. Honestly, if it came between this and the Alien franchise, I'd take this movie. This movie is a fucking classic. Love this movie. Now, is it Conan the Barbarian levels of awesome? Eh, I I got to give the Lamentations of the Women, man. I fucking love that movie. But Total Recall, probably close third or second for Arnold Schwarzenegger to me. You know, I mean, even this movie has some of his best one-liners. Conan has some pretty good one-liners, but this one has epic one-liners. I mean, you got consider that a divorce, and oh shit, oh there, oh god, I can't remember. There was one that said right before he killed the last bad guy, like cut his hands off or whatever. But this is also another movie like Django. If you're looking for a pretty fucking violent movie, this movie is definitely on the more gorier side for Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, you got the final villain literally gets his fucking arms chopped off and he falls to his death. Arms are like hanging on. It reminds me of that ending of the Time Machine. But and then oh god, literally within the first 10 minutes of this movie, you got Arnold Schwarzenegger going. Well, basically, he's like this working guy, and he turns out to be this fucking spy. Now, of course, there's a lot of people that debate that the movie never actually happened because he went into this simulation thing, and they think the simulation never actually ended because the movie ends on a white flash. So they think there is a theory going around that this movie never actually happened, and it was all in Arnold Schwarzenegger's head. But I don't personally believe that. I can see how it could be canon because technically the stuff that he thought of, but I don't know. There's just something about the movie that makes me want to believe that it was real. So I mean, within the first 10 minutes, you got Arnold Schwarzenegger stabbing a dude in the throat with some shrapnel of metal on his arm, and pretty fucking brutal there. But yeah, if you're looking for a classic violent Arnie movie, this is definitely for you. With a sci-fi twist, and it's got some great one-liners. I'd say this probably has my favorite one-liner in it. I'm not gonna tell you which one it is, but I absolutely fucking love this movie. And of course, you got Hank Schrader. Uh, I forget the actual actor's name, but Hank Schrader from Breaking Bad in here as a side character in the Mars City. But you also got the Roughnecks guy from Starship Troopers in here, and you got a pretty freaking wild ride. Pretty freaking wild ride. And I think this is another movie that I would recommend you check at least once before you die because it is a good classic Arnold Schwarzenegger gore fest. I mean, it is fucking fun. It is a fun movie. Um, Now again, this is another movie like Django and Goodfellas. A lot of people probably already know about this movie. I wouldn't recommend checking out the remake because I watched that once and it was fucking terrible. Because they basically took this rated R bloodbath and turned it into a PG-13 mediocre Blade Runner ripoff or whatever the fuck you want to call it, and you got a really shitty movie. But not to mention, I am not the biggest Colin Farrell fan. There are a few movies that he's in, like Phone Booth, that I think are pretty good, but he is not one of my favorite actors. So, Total Recall, original one, fucking awesome. Remake, fucking terrible. And of course, you got I don't know. See, the weird thing about this movie is, as a kid, I always used to confuse it with The Fifth Element because both movies are very. Now, of course, Fifth Element is a lot more wacky than this movie, but they kind of go for the same things. You got a big action star, Bruce Willis, Arnold Schwarzenegger. They both were '90s movies, and I think they both take place on Mars, and they're both action genre movies with a sci-fi twist, and they both have pretty recognizable female leads in them. You got Mila Jovovich in The Fifth Element, and I forget the chick's name in this, but I always used to mix those two up. But um, that still didn't stop me from continuously watching this movie because I absolutely love. I was raised on both those movies, and I fucking love this movie, man. And well, you got two female leads in this one, but anybody who's seen the movie know who I'm talking about, the blonde chick. But yeah, as I said, if you have not seen Total Recall, definitely go watch this one because you know, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like I don't know. If you're looking for just a sci-fi action movie, just go watch it because I'm trying to think other stuff to say about it. I mean, I'm not good at this review stuff, but um, yeah, this is one again. This is one I grew up watching, and it is just a blast to watch. And I'm always very excited to sit down and watch it. So, Total Recall, fucking awesome.